Hello everyone and welcome to the Progressive Hoodie channel. I promised a video on the Nevada debate tomorrow, and so this is that video. These are my predictions about what I think you can expect tomorrow, as well as the strategy that I believe each candidate should employ, what I think would give them the best chance moving forward. Um, Also, I'd love to hear from you. If you have a different view or what you think the candidates should do, I'd be interested in knowing what you all think because you all are very smart and you guys have great ideas. So, any strategies that you think these candidates should employ, leave those in the comment section. Um, what you think we can expect to see tomorrow, let me know what you think. Okay? So I'm going to go through the candidates now in no particular order, and we'll just go through and talk about strategy and what we can expect to see tomorrow night. Now, the debate tomorrow night is being hosted, I believe, by MSNBC, and so that right there is already very alarming. I mean, given some of what we've seen from MSNBC in this cycle, I mean, I would expect more from Fox News at this point. I'm not kidding. I mean, I don't know why they don't just do a debate on Fox News. The unfairness, the right-wing questions that they're going to get tomorrow. I mean, why not just do a Fox News debate? But anyway, we'll see. That's what I think you can expect from MSNBC. Let's see. Maybe I'll be wrong. Um, let's start with Warren. Now, this was a tough one for me because I don't feel like Warren has much of a path forward. But looking at some of the polling that's come out, I think she might have a better chance than I originally thought. But I'm just not sure how she pulls it off with the strategy that she currently has, and what I think she's going to do. But let's get into it. So what would my strategy be? You got to go after Bloomberg. You've got to actually be the anti-corruption candidate that you originally ran as, and that we all know was your strength. This was a part of what was so great about having her in this, is her focus on corruption. And now she's turned into this person that's barely recognizable from what many people were excited about when they were trying to get her to run in 2016. From what many people were excited about when they wanted her to take on the Clinton machine. She's not that Elizabeth Warren anymore. Let's be real about that and honest about that. But to me, she needs to turn back to that. It may even be too late at this point, but this is what I would advise. You got to stop listening to the Clinton people and the Obama people that are endorsing you. I have a million Obama supporters. You got to stop listening to them because they don't know what they're talking about. And they are really running her campaign into the ground. You can see that she has been really doing what they want her to do and has turned from what was true to her core, to herself, to what she really thought, if we even know what's true to herself. I mean, we're talking about somebody who pretended to be Native American. Or, I mean, we're dealing with that level of dishonesty. Who knows what the truth is? She certainly doesn't. Anyway, she needs to stay away from the Slay Queen nonsense. She just needs to stop that. It's not going to resonate with anybody outside of a small, select group of neoliberal elites. It's not going to work with the working class. It's not going to win over anybody in the Rust Belt. It's not going to even win over the black supporters sitting there being like, oh, look, me and the other white woman on this stage, we are, butt buddies. It's not going to work with anybody that she really needs as her constituency. She needs to stop. Because it isn't going to cut it. And even if she does manage to get through this primary, being the next generation, I'm with her, the next Hillary Clinton, she's going to lose. She would lose to Donald Trump. So she needs to stop it, and she needs to get back on board with who she was originally. She needs to focus on policy. She was that policy wonk. Remember when she was the plan for that person? Got a plan for that. Got a plan for that. Got a plan for that. Got a plan. Now she's like, I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I'm a female. And that's her campaign now. That's not just simply not going to cut it. And that's not what we're looking for in this time. It just isn't. Um, I also think she needs to appeal to the union and the culinary union there in Nevada. I think she needs to just be like, hey, I mean, it's a little bit sleazy, but yeah, she probably does need to say, hey, Bernie Sanders doesn't agree with union leadership on this particular issue. And, of course, I, I think that may give her some cheap points, maybe. But again, even that to me rings hollow, no matter what she does, because she was on board for Bernie's plan. Um, what yesterday? I mean, before she decided she wasn't. It's just unbelievable. So I don't really understand what she can do at this point. Those are just my ideas, but honestly, I don't even think that's going to work. I really don't think Elizabeth Warren has much that she can do at this point to turn this around. Now, what can you expect? Well, I think you can expect more Slay Queen nonsense. I specifically said she shouldn't do that, but that's what she's going to do. That is the strategy she's been employing. Everywhere you see her, it's all over her Facebook, her Instagram, and she is really into attacking Bernie Sanders now and really into loving on Amy Klobuchar. So I think we can expect more of that in this debate. That's what we've had up until now. It isn't working. I mean, let's be real. What else we can expect? I think we're going to see her go after Bloomberg. I do think she's going to do that because she has made it pretty clear that she doesn't like Bloomberg being in this race either. And she is even quoted in a few places of saying some things like, it's a shame that this billionaire can buy his way into the election, but we're going to show him how we go after, oligarchs. So I do expect her to do some of that. I also expect some Bernie bro nonsense. Just be ready for it, everyone. I know there are a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters that watch this. Just be ready for more Bernie bro garbage. I mean, just be ready for her to perpetuate that Hillary Clinton false narrative. So go ahead and expect it. Look, do me a favor and spare me the videos tomorrow talking about how disappointed in Elizabeth Warren you are. At a certain point, it does come to, fool me 8 times, shame on me. There does come a point where you got to stop being disappointed. The fact that you're disappointed is a problem with you, not with Elizabeth Warren. That's you at this point that has an issue. Because why do you keep banging your head up against the same wall? Don't you think eventually you'd go around or open the door? But no, you keep running into the wall. I'm so disappointed in Elizabeth Warren. Progressive commentators on YouTube need to stop it. Stop being so disappointed in Elizabeth Warren. It's over. Okay? It's over. And maybe because, again, I came to this game kind of late. I don't have the same love affair with Elizabeth Warren that you guys do. But you all are married to this idea of who Elizabeth Warren was. She's not that person anymore. You need to get over it and move on with life. To be honest, I'm starting to get tired of it now. I really am so disappointed. Get over it. Like, it's done. She is who she is. This is who she is. So she can go kick rocks. It's time for us to move forward. We care about the movement, and we care about progressive policies getting done. Not Elizabeth Warren. Forget her. I don't care what she does. Whatever. She can go be in Trump's administration for all I care at this point. I really don't care. All right, let's talk about Pete Buttigieg. Now, what would my strategy for him be? Well, I think he's got to find a way to appeal to Latinos. Yeah, I know. It's hilarious, right? Like, how's he going to do that? Right. Well, who knows? I'm not going to think about it any further because I'm not going to try to figure out how I can put a round peg into a square hole. It just is what it is. That's what he's got to somehow do. Good luck. He also needs to try to get a little bit of get some other centrists out of this thing. Now, how does he manage to do that when he's just as bad on race as others like Amy Klobuchar? No one's as bad as Bloomberg, let's be clear about that. But just as bad on race as others like Amy Klobuchar. I would like for somebody to bring up Amy Klobuchar's prosecutorial record and that boy that she locked away for life. I would like that to be brought up in a debate setting. But Pete Buttigieg isn't the one to bring it up. I mean, she can just hammer him right on back with the plethora of stuff from South Bend, even stuff that they have not even been going after him for and been nice about, that are problematic aspects, like his Douglas plan, how he rolled that out. Remember the nonsense that was. I just don't understand what, like he has to stand on there. I think maybe it's turning a little bit, leaning a little more heavily into the electability argument by saying, look, I've proven through doing well in both of these first two states, in the first one by cheating, but whatever, that I can do well and get delegates, and that I could be electable. Amy Klobuchar, I mean, everybody in the media wanted to go crazy about her finishing third. That's how low the bar is for her. Third was a win for her. Think about that. So obviously she's not the most electable because we think third is great. I mean, if she finishes third in the general election, that wouldn't be great, would it? That would put her behind some, third-party candidates. I mean, obviously she's not doing well being third. So he needs to hammer on that, I'm leading the delegate count right now. I mean, yes, obviously as Sanders supporters we think it's ridiculous, and he shouldn't be leading it anyway, because the way Iowa was done from start to finish, from the second that poll was spiked to the way they counted and allocated the delegates, Iowa was just a hot doggone mess. A hot diggity dog mess. So, but it is what it is. And if I was Buttigieg, I would use it and say, look, I'm leading the delegate count. It is what it is. I think he also needs to take out Bloomberg, because to me, he's his biggest competition right now. It ain't Sanders. He ain't getting nay one of Bernie Sanders supporters. You heard it here first. Not going to happen. He's not peeling off any Bernie Sanders supporters. Bernie Sanders supporters hate Buttigieg so much. Like, I mean, it really just boggles the mind how much that Bernie Sanders supporters cannot stand this Pete Buttigieg lying platitude machine. Okay? He is the antithesis of Bernie Sanders in every way. Bernie Sanders, principled, with a core, a center, knowing who he is. Pete Buttigieg, exact opposite. Was politically expedient today. Oh, one point I was out there arguing that, now get this now, I was out there arguing that Medicare for all was the compromise position, because there is such a thing as a national health service where the government just simply actually does take over health care. Now, that's not the way for me to win, because Bernie Sanders has already taken up that whole lane. Now, I'm a centrist, and I'm attacking Bernie Sanders more vociferously than I'm attacking any other candidate. Wow. Wow. Complete polar opposite. No core, no center, no actual, real, unchangeable core to who he is. Bernie Sanders progressive, Pete Buttigieg centrist. Bernie Sanders honest, Pete Buttigieg completely dishonest. He rolls out his Douglas plan and fakes black support. I mean, it doesn't get any more dishonest than that. Just fundamentally dishonest. I mean, they could not be more polar opposites. So, you're not getting any Bernie Sanders supporters. We can't stand you. We can't stand you. So, really, he's got to take out Bloomberg. Now, what can we expect? I expect him to attack Bernie Sanders more. I expect him to come after Medicare for all, as if we haven't heard that tired debate. I would actually be fine with us not having a single healthcare question in this debate. I really would. I mean, I know that that's the number one issue for Americans, and it is for me too. I really want us to do Medicare for all, and I think it's very important. But we've heard this hashed over and over again. The candidates have made their positions clear. Everyone knows where everyone else stands on it. If attacking Bernie Sanders on Medicare for all was going to bring his numbers down, it would have worked by now. And I'm just tired of having the debate. It's just not even interesting to me anymore. You got to ask some new questions. There's so many other facets of policy and the direction that the country is going in that we can look into, other than that we need to start asking about, because I'm just tired of hearing about it. It's just old. So let's move on. Um, I don't know if we're going to really see him take on Bloomberg in an aggressive way because, I mean, I was looking at Pete Buttigieg's Twitter feed, and all I see on there is just, I want to give everyone health care, but I don't want to take away your health care to do it, unlike Bernie Sanders. I mean, he's even naming him by name in a lot of his tweets. So I don't know if we're going to see him go after Bloomberg as aggressively as he probably should if he's really serious about this nomination. Let's move on to good old Bloomy Boy. So Bloomberg's first debate on the stage with everybody. Now, what can we expect here? And what would my strategy be? Well, let's start with my strategy. My strategy would be, first of all, don't show up. I'm serious. Like, I would just be like, hey, I got sick or something. I stubbed my nose. I mean, anything. I sprung my ear. Anything. I choked on a sunflower seed. Anything to get out of it. Because you know what? Why would I want to show up and debate with all of these other people when I'm able to just buy, what is it, 19, 18, 20, 22, 22? I mean, when I'm able to buy double-digit support in these polls, why would I show up? Maybe I can buy double-digit support. Maybe I can buy 20s. Maybe I can buy my way into the 30s. That's all it's going to take right now in a field this divided. If I can just stay above 30, 35, 36, that's what's working for Bernie Sanders right now, and he's winning. So if I can just buy that kind of support, I don't need to show up in debate. But if he is totally insistent on going up there and making a fool out of himself, what would be my recommendations? Well, he's got to keep his cool. He can't get all up in arms and upset and angry when he's confronted with his own deplorable record. He's got to keep his cool, and he's got to find a way to stand by it. How does he do that? Well, that's his job. He needs to focus on the advantages that he has over, the other centrists. Not so much Sanders. He's not going to get any of Sanders' support. Now, again, he certainly can contrast himself with Sanders and should. Make your case for why you're not for Medicare for all. Make your case for why you're not for Bernie Sanders' more left-wing policies. But he's doing that to make sure that he's making so he can signal to the other centrists that, hey, I'm the one you should support, not mealy-mouthed Joe Biden, not Amy Soccer Mom, not Pete Rat Buttigieg, but me. Like, I'm the one that you should go with. And so I think in order to make that case, he does need to go after Bernie Sanders and say, look, I contrast with this guy in these ways. And so I think that's important, but he's got to do it out on substance. I mean, if you just do it on this nonsense Bernie bro garbage that isn't what people care about. I mean, I've looked at the polls, and believe it or not, Bernie bros was not the number one concern of Americans. I know. It was actually really, I was shocked too. I mean, I was like, gosh, really? It's not people being mean to me online? Like that. That's not what people are concerned about? No, it turns out they're not. They're not concerned about a billionaire getting his feelings hurt online. I mean, really? You have to tell people this? This has to be explained. Anyway, I mean, just how stupid can you be? Now, what can we expect from Bloomberg? Well, I think, judging based on some of the other appearances we've seen from him, I think we will see him lose his cool a little bit. I mean, he has a tendency to get a little ornery when people start blaming, talking about this stuff. He even went so far as one person be like, oh, I already apologized for that. Oh, hold on, bruh. That's not going to cut it. I already apologized for that garbage is not going to cut it on Stop and Frisk, bruh. You're going to have to do better than that on the debate stage. I sincerely hope that if it's brought up by one of the moderators or somebody else, I hope he does say, I already apologize for that. We need to move on. I hope he does say that. I hope he says that, oh my gosh, with every fiber of my being. I hope that he'll say that the black community would wake up and realize what a fraud this guy is. He should be polling just like Pete Buttigieg, if not worse, with the black community, if not worse. And it is a shame that he can be even approaching double-digit support. I heard, like 22% support? That's ridiculous. And the media isn't doing their job. They're negligent. They're asleep on the job. And so are the other candidates, quite frankly. There is a wealth of things to attack about Bloomberg besides just being like, oh, well, he's buying his way in. Oh, well, he's buying his way in. Okay, yes, I get it, and I don't like it either, but you got to do better than that. Bloomberg has a record full. With stop and frisk, redlining. He's an authoritarian that wants to ban soda. Like, no, don't drink that soda. It has too much in it. I'm going to be the nanny state to tell you that you don't get to drink that much soda. Really? The Central Park 5, how he handled that, how he fought the settlement for them, their financial settlement after that atrocious thing that happened to them and the way that they were treated, the way he fought back against that. Really? The 60 some odd sexual assault allegations against him. And you're just going to go with, oh, well, he's rich, so he shouldn't be able to run. No, you've got to do better than that. I'm sorry. You've got to do better than that. That is not enough. That is not enough. Someone with Bloomberg's record, that is not enough. It's kind of like the time Kamala Harris in one of the debates, instead of holding no punches, she was already falling in the polls at that time. Instead of, actually going for Pete Buttigieg, she gave this kind of like half excuse and his Douglas plan. She talked about his Douglas plan, but she didn't talk about the worst part of it. She was like, oh, well, you had a Kenyan woman or an African woman on the cover instead of an African American, but you already addressed that. She even gave him a pass on it. And that wasn't even the worst part of it. It was the faking of black support. That's what she should have brought up. And she should not have given him a pass on that. The fact that he tried to pawn off that people were supporting the plan that weren't actually supporting it. And she gave him a total get out of jail free card. What kind of prosecutor are you? How are you going to prosecute the case against Donald Trump if you can't even do it against little boy Pete? Just pathetic. She deserves to be out of the running for this. And I'm glad that she is. Because that was just ridiculous. But that's the kind of stuff we're talking about here. That's what we're talking about here. And, anyway, this video is already longer than I want it to be. I also think another thing we can expect from Bloomberg is he's going to just constantly be doing the Trump thing. He and Biden have been two of the most arrogant people in this cycle because they act like they're already in the general. This is a primary. Stop talking about Trump every 5 seconds. Yeah, you can bring him up, and of course we all know that he's not good for the country, but you can't just sit here and bring up Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. I'm not Donald Trump. I'm not. We know you're not. Okay. What are you going to do for the country? What policies are you prescribing for the ills of this country? What do you believe you bring to the table that will help this country? Just simply not being Donald Trump ain't going to cut it. George W. Bush wasn't Donald Trump either. Is that who we want for president? Some of y'all out there, you would love that. There are some Democrats out there who would think that that was just fine and dandy. And if he was running right now, they would be glad to try to, even overturning term limits to be able to give that ignorant buffoon a third term. Guarantee you there's a certain percentage of Democrats who would love the idea. And it's just so pathetic. It's so pathetic. And this is yet another example of the Democrats not really having any real standards, and that's why they're weak. That's why you lose to Republicans. The diverting to Donald Trump isn't going to work. And he's been doing that in interviews too. Oh, what's going on with you with the, with stop and frisk and all that? Oh, well, Donald Trump did this, that, and the other thing. Are we at preschool right now where you're like, well, he did it for you, mommy? Really? Really? And you're supposed to be the one that's tough enough to take on Donald Trump, and you can't even answer for your own record. That's pathetic. This is who the Democrats want to run against Donald Trump. This is the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. I mean, when you can't even give an account for your own record without pointing to somebody else and saying he worse, mommy. Look at what he did. I mean, wow, man, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And that's who they want to run against Donald Trump. Someone who's racist just like Trump, sexist just like Trump, takes no accountability just like Trump, authoritarian just like Donald Trump. He was supposed to have 2 terms as mayor. He had 3. How'd that happen? Everybody worried about, Donald Trump may try. I'm worried that Donald Trump may try to suspend term limits. We're running somebody in the Democratic Party who we already know wants to try to suspend term limits. He did it before. I'm beginning to believe that the only reason that Democrats are upset about the election of Donald Trump is because he wasn't running as a Democrat. It doesn't have anything to do with real policy substance. Because if it did, there's no way in heck they'd back Bloomberg. Anyway, that's going to be it for this part because it's already long. And if you enjoy this kind of long-winded commentary, then come on back for part 2, where I'll dive into Biden and Sanders and Klobuchunks. All right, peace out, y'all.